Okay, here is my case study. I'm going to try to get through it since we only have about 15 minutes, so we'll go through it pretty quickly here. The first slide, what do we know? It's a very well-off part of town, very wealthy. Principal has has received awards, seems to do a great job as an administrator. There's a new teacher with lots of education but little classroom experience, so someone that maybe hasn't had a lot of experience working in the classroom but is very knowledgeable about content areas and things like that. What do we need to know? Has the teacher tried to make changes to better fit kids? It said the administration has made her aware of the issues and tried to give her some strategies and things, but is she really trying to make things better? Is she really trying to address the concerns of parents? Who created the website? That's going to be important. Who's to blame for this? And what can be done to fix the problem? How are you going to help parents feel better, students feel better? How are you going to help the teacher feel better? There's a lot of different people that are going to need some different issues addressed in this. So what is the problem? Parents and students are not adjusting to the new teacher in the building, and someone has taken it upon themselves to create a website that's malicious and hateful, and just the teacher's hurt by this, and frankly seems like she's scared. So for my plan of action, my first thing I would do would try to discuss with someone in the IT department and see if the creator of the site can be determined. That would be my number one goal. Who created the website? Who sent her the email? Try to figure that out. Also, very important on my list would be to assure the teacher that she's safe. I think she went a little overboard with her concern that someone was trying to kill her, and that the statement that who wants her to disappear was a threat. Remind her that people vent with words, but very rarely report to violence. This is something that as a teacher you have to understand, that people are going to say things about you. People are going to vent to other people about you, and you can't always take it that seriously. My third thing would be discuss with the teacher that even though the website is cool, what can you do to help students and parents' concerns be addressed? Turn it into a positive. Yes, it's something bad, but what can you do to make it better? What techniques can we now implement? Now she might see the need to try some of those things that you suggested in the first place. And lastly, I would discuss with students and parents that just because a class is hard doesn't mean they can attack a teacher. Setting high expectations that being hard is a good thing. That means students are challenged and they're learning. So making that aware that high expectations is a good thing. Maybe there's some tweaking that needs to be done, but this is not a way to handle the situation. Some strategies I would use would be open, honest communication. Now this would be with students, parents, the teacher involved, and the community. Let them all know, these are my expectations. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but we are tweaking some things to help students with stress. Just having that open circle of communication. I would do some classroom observations. What do you see as an administrator that can help this teacher? What are some techniques? What are some situations that you can help in? And then obviously keep your expectations high and make everyone aware of your expectations and that they are high. The question, what is best for students? Obviously, I think there needs to be some improvement of the classroom instruction and some positive interactions there. This teacher is not bonding with students. The students are not bonding with the teacher. There obviously is something missing here. One of my favorite quotes is, they'll never care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you're not building a relationship with these students, they're not going to buy into whatever you're teaching. I don't care if you're teaching kindergartners. I don't care if you're teaching seniors. There has to be some mutual respect and a mutual relationship there. So that needs to come first. And then the second thing is making those high expectations known, that that's a good thing, and that students can't always take the easy route, and that it is a good thing that they're being challenged here, whether they get an A or not. it's still going to be a good for them. Facts from the case to support this. The administrator, it said right in there that they tried giving the new teacher techniques to help build positive interactions, but she has yet to try them. And also that the economic status of the community, students are used to getting what they want. So it would be important to let them know just because they're upset doesn't mean things are going to change. Doesn't mean they always get what they want. When you work with kids who are used to getting every technology that they've ever wanted, every toy they've ever wanted, every book they've ever, they're so used to getting what they want that they don't know how to react when something happens that they don't want. So that needs to be very upfront. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's going to change. What was I thinking when I was reading this? Parents and students need to understand that high expectations are good, especially transitioning to a Common Core. High expectations is a good thing. That is what we want for kids. And just because it's not easy doesn't make it bad. And that also the teacher needs help with creating positive classroom settings. She's got to make that relationship with her students. What was I feeling? I was sad that someone took it this far. Obviously they were upset, but there was no need to create this website. And I was upset that the teacher has not implemented the strategies given. If your administrator says, hey, try these out, why haven't you tried them? And what was I valuing? I personally was valuing my positive relationship that I have with parents, and that they realize that me challenging their student is a good thing, and they don't fight me on it like these parents seem to be. What are still some issues that are unresolved? What will the consequences be for the person that created the site? If you can determine that, what should you do to that student? If it was a parent, how are you going to handle that situation? So how is that going to fit in your plan? And then how can the administrator keep this thing from happening again? What are the steps that you're going to take to help the teacher connect with the parents, connect with the students? How are you going to keep it from happening again? Standard 5. A school administrator is an educational leader who promotes the success of all students by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. So, how did you demonstrate a sense of integrity and ethical behavior that serves as a model for all members of the school community? Well, one, I think stepping up and giving the techniques for improved interactions. Great way to show, I'm here to support you. The second one is check the website before addressing or accusing anyone. I think it was important that he said, whoa, let me see what you're talking about. Let me look into this before we jump to any conclusions. And try to focus on the positive. I think the fact that one of my steps is to say, okay, this is a bad thing, but how can we use this to address parent concerns? So turning things to a positive is good. How did you treat people fairly, equitably, and with dignity and respect? You allowed parents to voice their concerns. You're listening to their concerns. That is a huge thing. Didn't immediately jump to conclusions. Even though she said she thought it was this student, you didn't immediately jump and call the student and accuse them. You have to go through the channels like the IT and things like that before you can just immediately accuse one person. And I really wish they wouldn't have started name dropping of students. I wish that question never would have been asked. I wish they would have just went to IT first and said, can you give us an idea when this was created or who created it? Because I felt like as soon as she started saying a student's name, that student immediately became guilty in some people's eyes. And so I really wish they wouldn't have even started name dropping students. How did you demonstrate a personal and professional code of ethics? I felt like encouraging the teacher to make changes to help with the stress, that's putting student needs first. And I think that's something we always should focus on. What do my students need? And so I thought that was perfect. Setting your expectations, keeping your professional code of ethics, that's something we have to keep up there, is expectations. And consequences for unallowable behavior. If it says a student that created it, this is unacceptable, you got to have some kind of consequence for that. And that's the end.